Welcome to another edition of Inside PressBox presented by Maryland Mutual Mortgage. I'm your host, Stan the Fan Charles. And last week, I was out at the First Mariner Arena for the MISL Championship game, which our Blast lost to the Milwaukee Wave after the game. I talked to Blast President and General Manager Kevin Healy and veteran forward Juliana Salenza. Pat Healy is here tonight, and I'll show you those interviews, and Pat and I will reflect back on the game and the season and the end of an era. But right now, MLB analyst for MLB Radio, Sirius Radio, Jim Duquette, former Vice President of Baseball Operations for the Orioles, is joining me to talk about the Countdown to a Cure event, which is going to be held on April 10th, Sunday evening at Pier 5 Hotel. The event is a fundraiser to fight kidney disease and will be attended by former Orioles players, current Oriole broadcasters, and Jim Duquette. Jim,
Stan,
thanks for coming in with me.
Thanks for having me.
And you have you've been public about this.
Yeah.
You have a very personal stake in this game of raising awareness for nephrotic syndrome, which is a kidney disease.
It's a kidney disease, it's a kidney ailment, and the next step up or degree is called FSGS, which is a focal sclerosis. And Alonzo Mourning, the former basketball player, had FSGS. He had a couple of kidney transplants. Ed Hearn is another former player. And my daughter had the beginning aspect of that, which is nephrotic syndrome, where the kidneys, really the filtering part of the kidneys don't work properly. And she leaks protein into her urine, and there's all sorts of health issues that go with it. And she's had scarring most recently with her kidneys. She had it since age 2.5. And now she's now 9. She's 9 now. And we've been trying to raise money and awareness because there's no known cure. It afflicts primarily children at the early ages, 3, 4. And really, doctors aren't sure. It could be environmental, could be diet, could be a lot of different factors, could be genetic. They don't know. And so I've been very vocal and vigilant in terms of raising money for it.
Now, your daughter sounds like an amazing trooper because I think she's had over 25 surgeries.
She's had a lot of surgeries. She's been hospitalized over 25 times. She's had 3 or 4 biopsies. I mean, there's been a number. She's going to have a surgery here coming up in the next week or so. We're at a point now, Stan, where we're into the experimental stage. A lot of experimental drugs. We've been going to Hopkins. We've been going down to NIH, down in Bethesda, the National Institute of Health, trying to find some kind of cure, trying to get her into some sort of remission so she can live a normal life. We had a 2-year span where she was in good shape. The last 2 years, she was on steroids, heavy dose steroids before that. Now it's taken a turn for the worse here since October, and I'm hopeful she's going to be able to. We're having a dinner here April 10th, and I'm hopeful she'll be able to attend it. But she's had some rough times and been out of school quite a bit.
Now she sounds like a real trooper.
Yeah.
How have you and your wife, is Pam?
Pam, right?
Pam, how have you guys held up over this over 7 years?
Yeah, this puts a strain on the entire family. I have an older daughter. My oldest daughter is a freshman in high school, and my son's a 5th grader, and so there's a lot of aspects, a lot of time away from from dealing with this issue, being in the hospital. Mom's been away, spending time there, and I have to travel to do my work. So it's been a drain on them. My in-laws, my mom, have come down to help, and we've had a lot of support from the Baltimore community, from Sparks, where we live, the school, the elementary school up there has been great. Neighbors have been terrific, but it's taken its toll, of course, as you would expect.
Now, the event on April 10th, tell our viewers out there how they can get tickets to this event.
Well, the best way, and we're going to have a lot of former Orioles, Jim Palmer, Mike Flanagan, among others, are going to be there. Dave Johnson, Tom Davis, and Fred Manfred will be the MCs. You can get on the site, nephcure.org. Is the foundation.
NEPH. NEPH.
Right.
Cure.
CURE.org. That is the foundation, charity foundation that my daughter's
We've got it
involved
up
with.
here right now on the screen.
Right. And you can get on there and buy tickets. There's $75 a seat. It'll be April 10th, about 6 p.m. There's a game.
The Orioles play Texas.
They play the Rangers that day,
Yep.
right? We're going to actually have a walk that day prior to the game. If you don't and can't go to the dinner and you want to join us for a walk, the walk is over at Sliders or Bar and Grill across the street, and we'll join there.
Get down there. What time's that going to start?
That'll be about an hour prior to the game, about noontime or so. We had last year about 50 or 60 people. You get T-shirts, you get a ticket to the game for $20, and walk around the stadium and bring awareness. If you can, we'd like you to go to the dinner as well.
Well, I know that you can't come on my radio show because you're doing your own MLB Network radio program from 10 to 2 with Kevin Kennedy.
With Kevin Kennedy, former manager.
But I will have Warren Solid, who's kind of running this on, and we'll talk about the walk a little bit too.
Sounds good.
Let's talk a little bit about this baseball season. First of all, you, to me, are a very rare bird. The fact that you got let go by an organization but held no bitterness, no upsettedness, and you've, in fact, kept your roots here in Baltimore now.
Yeah. Well, listen, anywhere I've worked, I've been in the game for almost 20 years, and I was with the Mets for 15. I came down here for 2. Really, what ended up happening was there's a change in philosophy and a change. The owners have the right to change their mind. I've always said that. When I came down here, Mike Flanagan and I, we had a couple of years, year and a half or so. I thought it was a little too quick, but I've always maintained a good relationship with Mr. Angelos, with the Orioles, and I didn't know I was going to get into this line of work either, Stan, but it's worked out, and I've got a new profession now.
Now, do you have a new profession? Would you like to get back to working for a club, or do you see you've got a future in this?
Well, that's a good question.
Andy. I said Andy. Jim Duquette.
No, I think that this is something I certainly have enjoyed, and I think I'll continue it. If there's a right opportunity, Stan, I think I'd have to jump back into it because that's what I know.
All right. Tell me about the home team here, Andy McPhail.
I like it.
What kind of grade would you give him over 3.5 years?
Well, I think it's, when you go back 3 years, when what he inherited and now what he's done now, I think he's had more than passing. I mean, this is a B plus for sure. This team's going to be a lot better. I think they're closer to 500 than they've ever been over the past 5 or 6 years. And for me, the acquisitions this year, in particular, Vladdy Guerrero, I really like. I like Derek Lee. I like Reynolds' acquisition. I think Hardy's going to be good too. So just those 4 alone are good. I think the bullpen's going to be vastly improved from last year.
All right, Jim Duquette, any chance for 3rd place this year?
I'm picking him for 3rd, Stan.
That's what I am.
It might be a little optimistic, but I think 3rd. I'll take him.
All right, Jim Duquette, again, the event is called Countdown to a Cure. It's Sunday night, April the 10th at Pier 5. Again, go on nephcure.org, nephcure.org. All right, Jim Duquette, thank you very much.
Thank you.
The Orioles season is officially underway, and there's been a lot of excitement in Birdland about what the O's can do in 2011. You can read the latest Orioles news at csnbaltimore.com. Earlier this week, John Eisenberg wrote his thoughts about what Oriole fans can realistically expect this season. Check it out at csnbaltimore.com.